Hey friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the stream that almost didn't happen. Apparently, a couple of days ago, Canon changed something in their software that, in order for this camera to connect to the awful EOS Webcam Utility Pro software that you have to use with all Canon cameras, you have to, so the very specific sequence of events needs to be launch EOS Utility Pro, launch OBS, turn the camera on, that then triggers EOS Utility, a different horrible piece of software. Then you need to quit out of EOS Utility, the camera will then turn off, you need to then unplug the USB from the camera, plug the USB back into the camera, then the camera will turn back on, and about 50% of the time it then connects to EOS Webcam Utility Pro. So when you guys try to solve my camera doesn't connect issues in the chat by telling me to restart the computer over and over again, I'm gonna kill you. I'm not that dumb. Like, I know that I look dumb, but I'm not that dumb. I promise you. I promise you I'm not so dumb. I'm pretty dumb. I'll admit to being pretty dumb. But I'm not so dumb that your guys' suggestions actually help. Unsolicited advice is a dangerous thing. Have you ever gone to work and, like, they hire somebody new and that new person that doesn't know anything, like, starts to make all these suggestions that don't make any sense and or that you thought of years ago? Don't do that to me. I love you guys, but Jesus Christ. I've been doing this for a long time, and I promise you I'm not that dumb. Welcome to Friday Fart Bags. We're going to compare the 10 best Tiny Whoop frames here tonight. Talk about them, weigh them, and just kind of take a look at them and have a little, you know, hang out with that stuff. Right, 9 says, use a PC, all your Mac problems go away. It's true, but then you get twice as many PC problems. I've used PCs at jobs for 20 plus years, and man, you guys think I get angry trying to make a Mac work? Put a fucking PC in front of me. Yeah, they're way worse. I just have no interest in computers. I don't like computers. Computers can go to hell. And yeah, PCs are just another level of torture that I'm not willing to go down. Plus, I've used Macs for, Christ, 30 years, and I actually do know how to troubleshoot them to some extent. So, in the chat, Hockey Rounds was first. Haters Gonna Hate was next. Not applicable. CH3FPV. Most of these people are gone by now because they've been waiting for almost an hour for me to get the fucking camera working. So I apologize for that. If you were here and then you left, I don't blame you. Those of you that are completely insane have stayed, and this is your reward, I guess. Northern Tier, another trucking FPV channel. Gert Gen X, Simon, Feigning Goat, Mr. Huggy, Ciotti, Daniel 1964, Frank Nicholas, Joe F. I'm not going to ruin your last name, Joe. Rockcrawler, Upside, FP Avery, Ram Donko, Riot 9, McMucus, Upside, Troy Prelog, CMYK FPV, Brandon Woodford, Douglas Otwell, Fun Per Volt, Adam Weston, McMucus, Simon again, Upside again, Off-Axis FPV, Matt Norton, Atomic Rebel, sorting through all the repeats here, Lucky is in the house, Matt Norton, FP Avery, Brad Mondon with a super helpful comment of just restart the computer. I'm going to kill you all. When I meet you guys, I'm going to stab you all that have made these suggestions. Anonymous is here. Kevin the Alien. A cornerstone of this live stream is threatening your audience. I haven't done it much. So now, you know, I got to get back into it. Kevin Sumner's here. What's up, friends? I'm going to leave it there. I'm sure I'm missing people, but I'm just so goddamn angry right now. Oh, God, why, Cannon? Why, you fucks? Hi, guys. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Suck it! Oh, my God. Oh, fuck you, fucking fuck you. Why does it say Paper Jam when there is no Paper Jam? "45 minutes it took me to figure it out. 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Okay. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you gotta do is type CiottiFPV. I am unhinged and my rage knows no bounds! Who knows what that's from? That is one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite shows of all time. I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds. That's the quote. First person to guess what it is gets nothing. If you type CiottiFPV into the chat, for me, it lights up an orange like this, and when that happens, I then read what you've wrote. In this case, CH3FPV says, "What's up, and gangly gang?" Sometimes I read the part where you guys type Ciotti. Sometimes I'm sick of hearing my own goddamn last name, so I don't. Haters Gonna Hate says, "Shit, fuck work. I want to build whoops for a living like the legend CiottiFPV." If it was just building whoops, man, it would be nice. Haters Gonna Hate. If it wasn't interacting with computers, I don't even know what this. I don't even. It's all so confusing. Everything is so confusing. Oh, I'm gonna kill everyone, everything, everyone and everything. We're all gonna die. Ooh, ooh, boy, oh boy. You have to unplug the camera, huh? You have to unplug it. Canon, man, way to go, Canon. You disgusting sacks of ass. You know what I also noticed in EOS Webcam Utility Pro? I didn't even realize this, but it used to output in 1080. But at some point, I noticed that there was a little My Subscription button that popped up in bright red in the corner. And through trying to fix this today, I went into the preferences, and what they've done is you now have to pay for this software that's been free forever in order to get the 1080p option, which used to be free of charge. So for God knows how long, this has been going through in 720 instead of 1080. I have OBS set up to push 1080 to YouTube, but the camera is no longer sending 1080 to OBS because, you know, everybody needs money. Everybody needs more money than they currently have. So yeah, there's that, which is super frustrating. But I digress. It should look fine in 1080. I also, the other thing I had to do was, never mind. Moving on. Rock Crawler says, "Hey, CiottiFPV and all." Riot9 says, "Really enjoyed the GT7 VR stream, but I feel it's a little unrealistic. All the Mustangs have floorboards." Not for long. If you guys actually enjoy those live streams, I'll keep doing them. It's super fun for me. It's annoying that I can't see the chat, but you know, I can still talk and focus on driving. And boy, that was nuts the other night. Those Formula 3 cars at Watkins Glen were something else. If you have any interest in cars and or sim racing, check out Formula 3 at Watkins Glen. What is happening here? There's all kinds of weird shit going on with my face. Yeah, check out the most recent sim racing live stream I did. It's quite nuts. Trying to the 10 to 15 minutes that I spent getting used to that fast of a car at Watkins Glen was something else. Keep doing that, dog. Good boy. Bark a lot. Never stop barking, buddy. Never stop barking, baby. Keep doing it. Keep going, buddy. You got this. Whatever you're barking at will definitely just sort itself out. You do you, Teddy. Hopefully it's a bandit. Hopefully right now there is a bandit breaking into the house and he's going to come down here and he's going to steal the camera and my heart. Simon says, "It's all good. Stay calm and we'll patiently wait." You guys are insane for waiting. I'd have been long gone. Brandon Woodford says, "What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Good evening, Ciotti." CMYK says, "What's up, good gangly gang?" Mick Bucas says, "Greetings, whooptopians. CiottiFPV and all the ships at sea." Upside says, "Finding a peak screw in my carpet equals impossible." Hello and good health, y'all. Yeah, the peak screws are the exact same color as like beige carpet. That sucks. Hopefully you had extras. Off Axis says Discord hangout. No, I saw you say that. I can't do that. Like I have to fix this. Like this is how I make a living. So like if this shit doesn't work, like I just have to sit here for as long as it takes to fix it. Sorry. Fanning Good says all good. Catch you on the next one. This is after I said like I give up. This is insane. Off Axis says Discord stream CMYK dropping the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. Somebody just said they're here for the free food. Keep going, buddy. It's good. It's good. Barking helps. CMYK or another trucking FPV channel says whoop whoop. Craig Mitchell says, not in the chats much, but I'm here supporting and absorbing the knowledge. Hope all is well, homie. When you typed that, Craig, all was not well, but now all is somewhat well. I'm still incredibly angry. So yeah, this is not the normal me, but I'm gonna try my best, god damn it, to just calm down. I'm not very good at that though. Matty ORC says good job. Gert and Jad says hey back. FTW FPV the $10 super chat. Dude, thank you so much. He says, just pumped ripping these tiny whoop fireflies. I got 4 rigs going now. Good time. So here's a super chat. Thank you, dude. Very, very cool. Glad that you're enjoying the ultimate. I assume that you've built ultimate freestyle tiny whoops. Enjoy them, man. They are just wild. Kevin Sumner says, can you get clean HDMI out of that camera? Cannot. Pumping into the HD60S Plus. That's how my video conference camera is set up. Nope. This camera is very old. Most of my gear is very, very old. And yeah, no HDMI out here. Kevin Sumner said, you can kill me for that debugging question. YouTube did the thing. As if I'm not frustrated enough, YouTube decides to just scroll my chat to the bottom for absolutely no reason, as it does 7,000 times a second. Mr. Huggy with a 25-pound super chat. He says, here's 25 quid for let's get Ciotti out of the cannon hellhole or get drunk after the stream. Why wait? Let's get drunk now. Nope, never mind. There's no alcohol left. Sorry. Oh boy. Woosah, motherfuckers. Woosah. Mr. Huggy, thank you very much. Super kind, my friend. I appreciate. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put that, Mr. Huggy. I'm gonna put it in here. I have so many Canon lenses. I'm too deep in the Canon ecosystem, and I love them. And like I was saying the other day on the stream, like I've talked to other streamers who are on Sony and other camera manufacturers, and they all say the same thing. They all say that it is just a nightmare. There's just I don't know what it is, but it is a mess. So yeah, I'm not confident that selling all my Canon stuff, which would take 100 days and nights, because so much of it is the solution. I don't know. But I'm going to take your 25 and I'm going to put it right into this because this, I think, could be cool. The 200 is a guess. I don't actually... So I have a bunch of the cameras that are realistic to use on tiny whoops. But I don't have them all, and I think it would be kind of fun to compare absolutely all of them. We compared 4 of them the other night. Did it end up being 3 of them? We compared 3 or 4 of them the other night. I think it would be cool to compare them all. So, yeah, once this... like I said, 200 is a guess, but I think that's about right. The cameras are anywhere from $15 to $25 per, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch that we don't have. So once this fills up, we will get onto a website. We'll go onto all the websites and we'll just search for every single realistic tiny whoop camera, and we'll just buy them all and then we'll do one big smackdown like what we're doing tonight. You know, tonight we've got 10 Tiny Whoop frames that we're gonna kind of dive into and talk about each one, and yeah, pick a favorite, sorta. But it's less about picking a favorite, and it's more about weighing them all and talking about the pluses and minuses of them all, so that you can pick the one that works for you best, because we're all different. My favorite is potentially going to be different than yours. So yeah, instead of picking a favorite, we're just going to go over the pluses and minuses, and you can make your own decision. CMYKFPV says, down to Crown CiottiFPV. I see new Crown colors. I've had these. Zotex sent me all of the Crown colors a while ago, and I've been smashing them into stuff ever since. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I didn't realize there were screws in this canopy. So yeah, I think the only color that he didn't send me was black. It was probably just not done. But I've got plenty of black frames. And yeah, now I've got enough Crown frames to last me a lifetime, thanks to WeBleed. Very, very cool. So yeah, those are gonna hang. I've got like one of every here in this little stack going. So yeah, in a little bit we'll kind of dive into this and talk through these guys, weigh them, all the good stuff. Veritas Uza says, hey bud, what's up friend? Right9 says, nobody left, issues are kind of expected. Surprise has been such a smooth run for so long. I know, right? Upside says, I thought I found a peak screw. It was a dirty crumb of bread. Eat it anyway. Use it as a peak screw anyway. Haters gonna hate. It's probably that breadcrumb is probably about as strong as peak screws. Oh, it's not true. The peak screws are actually shockingly strong. My main issue, and the reason that I don't use peak screws anymore, is if when you're installing them, you tighten them ever so slightly too much, when you go to remove them, they will strip out. And boy, oh boy, is it a nightmare when they strip out. Because you then just have to rip the motor off of the frame, and that's going to rip the head off, and now you've got the plastic threads buried in the stator. And yeah, it's a real nightmare. So I've moved away from the peak screws because of that. It happened when I was at a competition for the little RC drift car guys. They invited me out to one of their competition things, and yeah, I spent almost an hour trying to get one rig working. It was the I already talked about it. It was the walk snail rig. It was the only rig that I could get up on the big monitor, and yeah, it was just chaos. And I said, you know what? The 0.3 of a gram for these peak screws, not worth it. There is apparently there is a specific screwdriver that you can get for the peak screws. I'm looking for it right now. It's opened in a tab here somewhere. Is it in buy shit? Here it is. So if you get your peak screws from this website, solidspot.com, if you scroll all the way to the bottom here, there is a specific type of screwdriver with this head on it, where it's like flat. It doesn't have that angled bit that most Phillips heads have. I don't think, but here's the thing. As it says here, the type 1 and type 3 are the only ones that need a special tool. And so if you go up here, you can see Chemist Head Type 3. So it's only this one. Chemist Head Type 3. So it's only this one that needs that special screwdriver. And this one here. These are not what the peak screws that I've got look like. I've got the BetaFPV ones, and I've got the WeBleed ones. They look, the WeBleed ones look exactly like this, which does not require that special screwdriver. It's supposed to use a regular screwdriver. And the BetaFPV ones look very, very similar to this. So yeah, the ones that I have should work with regular screwdrivers, and the screwdrivers that I have fit really nicely in these Peak screws. But they're made of plastic, and like, I think what happens is when you tighten them up and then you start smashing it around, I think like the plastic really kind of like settles in the aluminum of the stator base, and it just doesn't. And then when you go to remove them, there's just too much resistance between that plastic and the aluminum, and you just can't. And it's plastic, so yeah. By putting enough, I don't know, maybe there's like a sweet spot in terms of like how much you tighten them when you're installing them. In theory, they're plastic, so they won't want to back out, maybe, I guess. But I don't know. It's 0.3 of a gram. 0.3 is a real weight savings, but it's not quite enough. It's not quite enough to offset, like, I'm out somewhere and I need to just remove a motor real quick and the Peak screws strip out again. So I'm not gonna do it. Haters Gonna Hate says, thank you for helping me with the bad AIO board. Can you maybe go over it with us? Haters Gonna Hate has a rig that he just starts flying it, and then the AIO just shuts off. It just turns off, and the quad, you know, when that happens, of course, the quad falls out of the sky. And he sent me a quick little DVR of it, and like when it happens, like the amp readout in the OSD doesn't go to the moon or anything. It's only showing like 4 amps, and there's plenty of there's plenty of voltage in the battery. And like when that happens, there's not a whole hell of a lot that it can be. Like the AIO is just bad. With AIOs, there's not an awful lot of troubleshooting that you can do. Like, and so yeah, like what I had to tell him was like, look, you know, as long as your battery leads, as long as the solder joints on your battery leads are okay, it's just a bad AIO. You just have to get in touch with whoever you bought it from and say, hey, look, this thing's falling out of the air for absolutely no reason. And hopefully they'll return it for you. Some companies are better with that than others. My best customer service experiences have been with GetFPV, PyroDrone, and Noob Drone. So yeah, hopefully you got it from one of those guys. Some of the other shops will make you jump through more hoops, but if you keep at it and you keep pouring time into it, eventually they will usually let you return stuff. So yeah, super frustrating, man. But we have created this, you know, we demand that, and we buy the stuff that is really inexpensive, which makes sense because we smash these things into walls. And so by us incentivizing the companies to make stuff less expensive by buying all the less expensive stuff, they're going to cut quality control, and they're going to do things to make their products cheaper. And thus we get less quality control and worse products. So yeah, it's just one of those things. The Mobula 6 ELRS 5 amp AIO has been shockingly reliable for me. It is, but that being said, I have had them let go. And I have heard from you guys that there have been ones that are no good right out of the box. It seems to be a much lower ratio than a lot of the other AIOs, namely the HappyModel Diamond. I've heard loads of complaints about the BetaFPV Cross AIO, but I've had good luck with that one as well. So yeah, it's tough, but it's worth it. Just stay with it. It's worth it to get a good one. And if you get a good one, it might last a long, long, long time. Hockey Round says, did you take my stapler? Kevin Sumner says, oh, that's it. Your Canon software says PC load letter. Limit says, hey, CiottiFPV, good to see you. It doesn't look like anybody... Nobody tagged me, at least. Nobody caught the... I am untethered, my rage knows no bounds quote. That's from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's when Dennis is trying to sell... It's when Dennis is trying to sell his Range Rover that is submerged in the Schuylkill, the Schuylkill River. He invites people to buy his Range Rover that he has driven into the river and is still in the river. He's like, it's an adventure vehicle. It's an adventure. This is part of the adventure. It's an adventure vehicle. And when the guy refuses to buy it, he just completely loses it. It's just fucking perfect, man. That show, Dennis Reynolds. I mean, that show is great, but Dennis Reynolds is really a personal hero of mine. I want to be just like him when I grow up. Shit. Limit says, hey, Ciotti, good to see you. Guillermo is in the house. What's up, homie? How you been? He says, hello. See, Mike K says, Brad Bonin says, yo, would you check out my first iteration of my 65mm tiny lifter in Discord FPV therapy? What do you think? No, Brad, no. I will not check it out because you told me to restart the computer. What do you think I am, an asshole? No. All right, we'll look. Where'd you put it? Livestream live? FPV therapy. What'd you put it in there for? FPV therapy, age restricted channel. That's interesting. I didn't do that. FPV therapy is for real talk. Actual trying to feel better stuff. Not tiny whoops. Tiny whoops are fun, but they are not therapy. That's pretty cool. There's the zip tie situation. That's pretty awesome, man. So that's a thumb that you've taken the case off. Did you say that it's 4 grams once you've removed the case? That's pretty wild. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Fly the shit out of that. I'm super curious to see how that'll fly. Are those the 32,500s? I'm very curious as to how this is. Yeah, those are the 32. This is a cool setup. Yeah, let us know what the runtime is and how it flies like that, because that's super cool. There's a USB port on the side of that RunCam thumb that I'm hoping you can pull the data off of. And the RunCam thumbs are pretty cheap. So, like, this is really cool because you just plug directly. So, the zip ties are kind of a janky solution, but who gives a shit? They're really lightweight and they're strong. And I think that you can just, take the whole quad and just plug it into a USB cord and get the footage off of it, right? Like the Insta360 Go, you have to put it into the cradle to get the footage out of the damn thing. Well, I guess you can do Bluetooth to your phone, but that sucks. So yeah, with the Insta360 Goes, you have to have a mount that's removable. With the RunCam thumb here, I bet you, yeah, you can just leave it connected to the quad. That's pretty cool, man. I dig that. I dig that a lot. And I forgive you for telling me to restart the computer. Don't do it again, though, because I just get so angry, man. I just get so angry. I'm telling you, there's been a time in your life that somebody that knows significantly less than you about exactly the thing that you're trying to fix has sat there and given you insane solutions to the problem that are unhelpful. And you've gotten upset. I know that you've gotten upset. It's an upsetting thing. I wish it wasn't so upsetting, but it is. Simon says, IASIP is epic. I don't know what IASIP is. IASIP. Oh, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've never seen that as an acronym. That's interesting. Limit says, would love to see you on Assetto Corsa on PC. There is an FPV mod where you control the drone with your radio and discover tracks. It's really fun. I've spent, and there's a bunch of live streams buried in the Sim Racing Streams channel of Assetto Corsa on the PS4, actually. It's a great game. There aren't mods and all the cool stuff on console, obviously, and like building a gaming PC is kind of outside of my budget and or expertise and or I can't have something else that's going to eat all my time. Gran Turismo 7 is phenomenal. In PSVR, it's just ridiculous, and it is plenty. Like my current setup is absolutely plenty. I would love to have more time to be able to use it more. But yeah, such is life. So yeah, I can't really go down the additional rabbit hole of PC simulators. But yeah, Assetto Corsa is fantastic. GT7 is Gran Turismo Sport was definitely not quite like there was a noticeable difference in physics between Assetto Corsa, which for me with like an actual motorsport background made GT Sport I had to like adjust to. Assetto Corsa I didn't really need to adjust to. Gran Turismo 7 has closed that gap, and I barely need to adjust to it, especially now with VR. I can build a 150 wheel horsepower Miata with sticky tires and suspension in the game, and it feels exactly like mine. Like it's unbelievable. So yeah, and of course, like the graphics and content in GT7 is absurd. So yeah, I'm a dirty console gamer. Don't hate me. Northern Tier says, I love Real Close to Watkins. Awesome track. Was fun watching that. I'm very jealous. That is a hell of a racetrack. Joe F says, what ELRS packet rate do you fly your quads at? I have an X9D Plus, and it can only do 150 hertz, which is 12 milliseconds latency. Time to buy the Boxer, fly with 500 and 4 milliseconds. What do you think about it? It depends. I don't run anything at 500. It's like a bit too close to the sun, in my opinion. All the tiny whoops that are just going throughout the house are at 250 hertz. Most of my stuff is on Crossfire. I guess I do have a couple of 3-inch rigs that are on ELRS, and since with those rigs you can go farther away, it kind of makes sense to come down a little bit on the packet rate. So I believe I have them at 150, just for a little bit extra range. But yeah, 500 is interesting. I don't really think that. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to do blind testing between 500 and 250 to see if you can tell a difference in latency. Classically, I can't tell a difference between stuff. I tend to just adjust very quickly to whatever I'm flying, and just fly. I have in blind testing in the past, a lot of which I've done. I've always had a really hard time telling the difference between stuff that's subtle. And if you guys do proper blind testing, I think you'll find that it's the same for you. All that being said, like being able to tell that there's a difference and there being a difference are two completely different things. Less latency is better, full stop. So running with less latency is always going to be a better thing, regardless of whether or not you can feel the difference or not. So yeah. Haters Gonna Hate says, can we go over how to tune a tiny whoop? The bulk of tuning a tiny whoop is choosing the right motors and propellers. That's about 90% of tuning. If you, so yeah, 702s, high KV are the two biggest things that will help the flight characteristics, which is what we're doing by tuning. If you want to go, and that's on stone stock BetaFlight tune, it'll be really, really good. If you want to push it a little bit farther, you're just going to take the D-gain slider, the very first slider, you're going to move it from 1.0 to 1.2, see how the thing flies. If you want to push it farther, you're going to move it from 1.2 to 1.4, and then you're going to take the second slider, the P&I slider, you're going to move that up to 1.2. You want to maintain a 0.2 difference between those two sliders. So first step is first slider to 1.2. Second step is 1.4 and 1.2 on the second slider. Third step is to push both of those up by 0.2 and just keep going. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where the rig starts sounding angry and wanting to fly away. And like when you zero the throttle, the motors won't spin all the way down. That means you've gone too far. Back them up a little bit. And that's it. That's all you have to do anymore. There's no mystery in tuning. There's no... I mean, there is. Like, you can keep pushing... I'll put it this way. If you do that, and if you push those to the point where it's you've gone too far and then you back them off a little bit, like, not even kidding, that tune is 99% perfect. You can spend another 20, 30 hours getting that 1 extra percent. I promise you that you will not, like, hit a single extra gate. You will not, your footage will not look any better. Yeah. Like, picking the proper motor and propeller combo is what will make your rig fly better and perform better, and it will make you look like a better pilot. Pushing the PI and D gains a little bit is going to give you maybe one or two extra percent towards that. Continuing to then dive in and go ballistic with the tune it's you really hit the point of diminishing returns very, very quickly. So yeah, that's most of tuning nowadays. If you want to dive deeper, then I mean, that's a much bigger, longer conversation, and most people are not going to really see the differences if you continue to go deeper down that rabbit hole. If it's fun for you to learn about that stuff, that's great. Learn about it. But yeah, it's be careful, right? Like you can spend an awful lot of time thinking that it's going to make you better and it's going to make your footage look better and all that. And I can promise you that you'll get way more bang for your buck in terms of your flight footage being better by just flying, spending your time on the sticks. So put the right motors and props on, fly the shit out of it. If you want to push those first couple of sliders up a little bit, great. But in my opinion, stop there and just fly. Just focus on flying. There are so many things that will help with getting better more than pouring hours and hours and hours and hours and hours into tuning. And I know that because I fell victim to that. I thought for many years that I would be able to improve by really learning about tuning, and it's just not true. It really isn't. So yeah, get your priorities straightened out. Up top, if you're looking to get good, priority number one needs to be stick time every day, as much as you possibly can. That stick time is more effective than everything else combined. Literally everything else combined. If you have a brushed Tiny Whoop from 6 years ago and you fly 10 batteries a day every single day on that thing, your flight footage and you as a pilot will be so much better than than everyone else. Like it really is just all about stick time, which is great because that's the really fun thing to do. So yeah, focus on stick time for sure. YouTube just did the thing again, scrolling back up. Thanks a lot, YouTube, you jerks. Why is this life? All faxes with the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. Vertos User says, I don't know why you would want a bandit to steal your heart. I thought Maggie stole your heart. She did indeed. There's no heart left because she has it. When I first got married, we were broken into. They were armed, and so was I. Surprise, I won. Oh, God, that's horrifying. Jesus. Adam Weston says, that is horrifying and incredibly rare. If you ever look up the statistics, boy, oh boy. It's unbelievably, having a gun, this is a very unpopular opinion, but look it up. The numbers are numbers. The data don't lie. Having a gun in the house, you are more likely to have that gun stolen or a negligent discharge or accidental discharge situation in the house than for someone to break in and for you to get to use that gun against that person. So yeah, Veritas, hopefully you didn't have to shoot that person, because I can't imagine living with the reality of taking another life. And I wouldn't want anyone to. So yeah, hopefully you were able to scare them away rather than killing them. You know, even though they're a bad person, right? Like, I'm going to stop there, because just in case you did kill them, I don't want to make you feel worse. But yeah, there's that. Adam Weston says, I got the small FPV has no borders shirt for my son in the mail today. Thanks for sending that. You're certainly welcome, brother. Thanks to WeBleed FPV for sending that over as well. Kevin Sumner says, do we need CiottiFPV live stream bingo? Shredder0911 says, Noob here, and both of my tiny whoops lose altitude whenever I yaw. Is there a solution, or do I always need to rev before yaw? No, that's just the way that multi-rotors work. So there's no, like, if you look at this thing, right, and you think about, like, where the thrust goes, the thrust just goes down, right? So make more thrust, it goes up. Make more thrust on the right side, it does this. Make more thrust in the front, it does this. How the hell do we get it to do this? How the hell do we get it to yaw, right? We would need like a fifth propeller here that to get it to yaw with actual thrust, right? It yaws. So 2 of these motors are spinning clockwise, and the other 2 are spinning counterclockwise. So if you speed up 2 of the motors and slow down 2 of the other motors, you can create a twisting force by the motors and the rotating assembly accelerating or decelerating. So yeah, when you yaw, just because of physics or whatever, it's going to break 2 of the motors down. It is going to fire 2 of the other motors up, and you can push your P gain up on yaw so high that it's very aggressive with the motors that increase, but that can cause other problems. It's just sort of how these things work. Your best bet is, and so yeah, when you yaw, you just, if the rig is tuned, I don't consider pushing the P gain so high that when you yaw it jumps up into the air. I don't consider that to be a good tune. Like, that's an overact. It's a tune with too much yaw P gain. You could technically do it, but you shouldn't, in my opinion. So yeah, it's sort of just a thing. It's you don't notice it, but it's actually on all the axes. When you move, when you ask for pitch, roll, or yaw, the rig does lose altitude, because you're going from like all 4 motors cruising along to 2 motors ramping all the way up, and then 2 motors breaking down. And so when you do movements, yeah, that's an interesting question. But yeah, that's totally normal. Get good, scrub. Like, I'm obviously kidding, but I'm kind of not. It's one of the things that we have to fly around. So yeah, just do it a couple thousand times and it'll feel totally natural. It's not just you, brother. That's just sort of the way it is. It's good that you noticed that. That means that you're paying attention and you're starting to get good. Hendrix Freakazoid says, what, in your opinion, is the best low-light or starlight analog camera for whoops? I don't think there are any starlight cameras that are light enough for whoops. The lightest starlight camera that I know about that I run on the glides is the Foxeer Toothless Nano Starlight. It is a nano camera, so technically you could put it in a whoop, but it's pretty heavy compared to the other whoop cameras. The Runcam Nano 3 is really good in low light. Like, this room is very low light. Like, it's dark over there. I mean, these little webcams do a pretty good job at lightening things up, but like, in the corners of the room, there are just red and purple LEDs that are on. And yeah, like, just take my word for it. Like it's very dark over there, and the Runcam Nano 3 has absolutely no problem. Most tiny whoop cameras, other than the Caddx Ants, are incredibly good in low light. So I don't think you need to overthink it. I think you can just get any tiny whoop camera other than the Caddx Ant. The pinch, the tiny whoop pinch cam also seems to struggle in low light. And if you take a look at my channel, I've got a RC drift car edit. It's an old stream. I've got an RC drift car analog edit. Analog FPV invades RC drifting. Yeah, look how dark this is. Like, and this was in the summer when there was sunlight coming in. It's even darker in here now. Yeah, so not super impressed with the tiny whoop pinch cam in low light. Camera looks okay, but it's just dark, man. Everything is just really, really dark in this edit. I didn't even notice it when I was doing the edit. But then I did the walk snail edit, and I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, that camera is very dark. So it's super obvious when you look at those two back to back. But yeah, most tiny whoop cameras are pretty good in low light. Buster Rhymes with a 50... What is that symbol? 50 Vietnamese dongs. Thanks for the dongs, Buster. Very cool of you. 50,000 dongs. Jesus, that's a lot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle all that. And now's the point where I say, I can only handle 1 or 2 dongs, usually. Would you go 2S or 1S for an outdoor 75mm toothpick? I'm stuck between weight and torque. So try not to think about torque. Torque is a measurement that that can get really kind of confusing. You're stuck between weight and thrust. Just take torque, take horsepower, take those rotational measurements out of the equation, and just think about thrust. Because that's what we end up with, right? Like that's the force that the mechanical system that we're putting together generates, right? That's a really good question, actually, Buster. Here's the long and short of it. 1S is going to be slightly cheaper, not much cheaper. The batteries are going to be, excuse me, a little bit cheaper. But realistically, 1S is going to be lighter weight, significantly lighter weight. And it's also going to be a little bit quieter. A 2S toothpick is going to be incredibly quiet and incredibly safe as well. 1S is technically going to be safer as well. But a 2S toothpick is very safe. It is very quiet. So yeah, those are like the main differences between the two of them. If it were me, I would take a look at the spots that you're gonna fly it in. The smaller the spot that you're gonna fly it in, that's gonna be for 1S. If you're gonna fly it like in your front yard and you've got like 50-foot tall trees that you want to play around with, go 2S. A 50-foot tall tree and a toothpick on 2S is going to be fun. You're going to have enough power to like really accelerate up over that tree and do some fun like off throttle stuff. I'm really not a fan of the 1S toothpick thing. I've flown so many of them, and like it's really cool that they're completely silent. They're not actually completely silent, but you know what I mean. But you don't like people aren't that. People are typically not that insane that a 2S toothpick is going to bother them, but a 1S toothpick is not. And yeah, so I've not flown a single 1S toothpick that I've even remotely enjoyed. They all feel like they're underpowered, and when you come off the throttle, they just stop and fall damn near straight down. Going to 2S is a massive improvement in terms of flight characteristics, horsepower, off-throttle chuckability, and it's much more of like the outdoor flight experience that I want. That being said, I'm like a bigger, heavier quad kind of guy, other than these toothpicks, tiny whoops, but I've done a bunch of things with these tiny whoops to get them so that they fly in the house like the bigger rigs do outside. The bi-blades are a byproduct of that. The big, powerful motors are a product of that. So yeah, for me, it's 2S all day. But for some reason, if you absolutely need to be infinitely quiet and infinitely safe, 1S is interesting. Or if you've got like some extra parts floating around that are only going to really work on 1S, build it. Build a 1S toothpick. Get it out of your system, because you're always going to wonder. But yeah, if I was buying parts to build a toothpick, I would for sure go the 2S route. Toothpicks are for flying outside. They're not prop guarded, so they're for open air. And with open air comes lots of opportunities, typically for a bunch more power. Quad66 is one of my favorite channels here on YouTube, and he has done tons of 2S toothpick-ish builds. They are toothpicks. They're not that standard toothpick formula where the camera's in the center. He's pushed the camera forward a little bit, which is great. So yeah, lots of great, and he's a great pilot and a smart guy. So yeah, check him out for loads of 2S toothpick information. Which AIOs are good, the better performing motors, lots of flight footage. It's really good stuff. You're gonna like it. Good question, man, and thanks for the dongs. I hope that's not disrespectful. We're a bunch of fat cheeseburger eating hot dog monkeys here in the U.S. So this is not me making fun of your currency. Hopefully you're not like invested in the name of your currency. Just can't help it, man. I'm a child. Feigning Goat says, I'm a watching whore. What do I have? What do you have on that Martini Racing NATO strap? I have a whole bunch of these freestyle shark watches. My first watch as a kid was one of these, like, I was into surfing as a kid, and these are like the digital surfer watches. And yeah, I had one as a kid, and then I don't know what happened to it. And I was actually on a gig like 2 years ago, 2022, I think, and I'm talking to the producer, and we're hanging out or whatever. And he had a old school gold Casio calculator watch on. And I was like, yo, that is the most old school cool thing I've ever seen. And he was like, oh, thanks, or whatever. And it just got me thinking. It got me thinking about my old Shark Freestyle watch. So I went on to eBay and did a saved search. And so every day eBay sends me all of the new Shark Freestyle watches that pop up, and every once in a while somebody puts one up there for like $5 and I snag it. And I've got like 4 of them now, and I'm starting to get them with different color bezels and different screens that I can then color coordinate with. This watch strap and a couple others that I have are from Campiasano, I want to say. If you search Google for motorsport watch band, I believe it finds them. Yep, Campianato is the website. They've got a whole bunch of motorsport inspired watch bands, Gulf livery here. The Martini livery. There you go. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. This is John Player Special colors here. This is these are Rothman colors here. This is the next one that I'm going to be getting here. This is the Alitalia sponsorship colors, made very famous on the Lancia Stratos rally car. Little bit of Renown, our rotary powered 787B love here. So yeah, very cool website. Very, very cool website with super unique. And they even have them for Apple Watches and whatnot, which is like, so yeah. I'm not like a watch guy or anything. I just find it to be absolutely hysterical. And I will say this, I did not wear a watch for probably 20 years. I really like having a watch. Like, you know, with the time on our phone, there really is not much of a reason for a watch. But now that I'm wearing one again, I'm staggered at how often this is like on the other side of the room, and I can just like really quickly look at what time it is. The flip side is I kind of miss the days where it's kind of nice to not know what time it is. It's kind of nice to just focus on what you're doing and just live your life in the moment that you're in, rather than like, how much time do I have left before whatever, I need to go to sleep. So yeah, I don't know. When I now don't wear a watch, it's kind of nice, but it's fun and it's stylish and I dig it. You guys ask fun questions about it. Mutter Itzen says no low balls. I know what I have. Well, I'm really funny. I'm really far behind on chat. Let me go fast through chat to get caught up so that we can talk about these frames. Haters Gonna Hate says, thanks for answering. I got it from GetFPV. Oh, you're good, man. They'll hook you up. Right9 says, Right9, it's always sunny in Philadelphia. Thanks, Google. Hashtag cheating. Haters Gonna Hate says, it's an amphibious mobile. That's it. Yeah, that's right. It's an amphibious vehicle. Simon says, just a point, those BetaFPV BT2 pigtails that we all use easily break down, not at the solder but internally. No biggie, but it happens. I've not had that before. My main complaint about the BT 2.0 pigtails is that they have these concentric circles on the pins inside, so if you plug them all the way in, they're really hard to unplug. But I have not had one fail, and man, I've got BT 2.0 leads that I've put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of batteries through. Like the one on here. No, not this rig. One of these rigs has, here it is, this BT 2.0 pigtail here. I have had to pry it off of the battery a bunch of times, and it's like all mangled to shit. But it still works completely fine. What's breaking down internally on you? I mean, it's a little dirty in there, but it's completely fine. And now we've got the U BetaFPV pigtails, so we can all change everything up. Upside says, Dunning-Kruger effect. Ooh, it's real and it's everywhere. Brad Minden says, I wasn't sure where to post it. I'm planning on joining your Patreon next week. Appreciate it, dude. Oh, I get it. Yeah, so you didn't have many... you didn't have access to live stream live. Cool. Yeah, it's fine. I was just giving a hard time. Brad also says you can use the USB and also take the SD out. Oh, that's so cool. I just cut some of the canopy out and slid it, soldered it direct to the 5-volt pad. Oh, right. That's right. I forgot about that. You have to power that thing externally. Very cool. Very cool. ZBear99 says, Flyers are on a roll, dude. I do not pay attention to sports even a little bit. I'm going to type Flyers winning streak into Google. 5 straight. Wow. Okay. I used to be into all the sports. But I'm not anymore. Now I'm just into... I used to be into all the sports that only require one ball. But now my only love is the sport that requires 2 big, meaty, hairy clackers. Motorsport. Denzel the Terrible says, hello there, CiottiFPV and all you gangly people. YouTube just did the thing again. Scrolling back up, as always. Brad Monden says, I got scared my first flight because I didn't want to break it in my time, LO, so I flew back inside at like 1 minute and 30. I think it was at 3.6 on old batteries. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Freelojo dropping the Patreon link. Thank you, dude. Shredder0911 says, that's what I was thinking. Thanks. I wonder what we were talking about at 8:13. The Reaper Grim is here. What's up, dude? Riot9 says, shirt of the day, simplified add lightness. Can't see the bottom. This is a very, very famous Colin Chapman quote, who is the man behind the Lotus 7. Upside says, if you need a disco groove, this month's pick is Crying at the Discotheque. I can't play it on the stream, but I'll check it out afterwards. I'm down with disco, man. Hey, there we go. Cool. We're good to go. We're caught up on chat. Let's talk about not all, but most of the Tiny Whoop frames. The only Tiny Whoop frames that matter. Cool. So this is the stack. We're going to go from my favorite to my least favorite. That's an interesting way of doing it. Let me set this up so that I can just grab them one after the other. From my favorite to my least favorite. Here we go. That'll be that one. I love this one. That one. Teddy, I'm going to kill you! And then, nope, I like this one more than this one. And then this one. And is that it? That's it. Cool. First up, my absolute favorite frame, and the one that I need to actually buy a bunch more of to just have some spares. This is, and we're gonna weigh these. We're also gonna jump onto websites where we can take a look at these. Teddy, please stop! For the love of God, please. Your barking accomplishes nothing. Newbie Drone Cockroach V3 frame. Here it is on their website. You've got two different materials, and I've got both of these different materials in this Smackdown here. The one that we're looking at right now is it the white? No, it's not. It's the Jade White PP. That's the main thing I like about it, is being able to say PP all the time. Jade White polypropylene material, 2.9 grams. This is my absolute favorite Tiny Whoop frame at the moment. Let's weigh this one to see how close to 2.9 grams it is. Hot damn, 2.91 grams. Look at that. Let me weigh this little prototype that I have. This prototype is 2.81, so it is a little bit of a different material. That's okay. Newbie Drone sent me a bunch of these in different materials to test like a year ago. So yeah, I've been using this frame for a while and it's just been awesome. 2.9 grams is a really, really, really good weight. It's not the absolute lightest, but it's close to the lightest. My favorite things about this frame are that first and foremost, it's just super durable. I have not been able to break one of these, which I can break anything. The other thing that I like the most about this is the distance between the motor mount base and the actual duct is damn near perfect for 0702 motors. Most of these frames... Teddy, what the fuck, man? Why? What's happening? Why? Teddy, get down here. Come on. Why? Dog, I'm trying to fucking work. Jesus Christ. Why? Why? 2.9 God, man. Okay, where were we? Yeah, NBD Drone Cockroach V3, Cockroach 65 V3. This is their Cockroach 75 frame that they've had out for a long time, shrunken down. The way that the supports are, the cool little hooks in the back for an Immortal T, mini Immortal T, I should say. So yeah, they've had this design for a long time, and yeah, they've just shrunken it down, and good Lord, did it work well. One of the reasons that it's so durable is that there's a little bit of like three-dimensionality to the duct here. Look like right there on the outside. Please, there you go. See that? See how there's like a lip that kind of shoots out there? That little bit of all right, so here I'll compare it to the WeBleed Crown frame, and this is like most frames. They've got a little bit of an angle there, but they don't have that sharp thing. Like, this is basically a flat piece of plastic, right? So with a flat piece of plastic, it's going to deflect like crazy, right? They put just that little, there you can really see it, that little lip there, that makes this duct so much stronger, having that little piece of plastic that kind of shoots out. It's really amazing the difference. Like when you take this frame and you put it up against any of these tiny whoop frames, and you just do this little like duct squish test, it's wild. It's so crazy that such a subtle little thing makes such a difference in the strength of the duct. Yeah, like I said, it's not the lightest, but it's lighter than the Meteor 65, which is the previous frame that was basically roundly regarded as the best. So you're going to save a little bit of weight, super durable, and like I said, it's a real big deal that the distance, the vertical distance here between the motor mount base and the top of this duct has been shortened up, so that with a 702 motor, the propeller rides around the inside of the duct really nicely, which allows you to smack into things more often and keep flying, right? So when the propeller rubs the inside of the duct here, if you hit something and it pushes the duct into the propeller, right? As you can see, it's actually doing it right now. It pushes the propeller out of the way. So the propeller can kind of slide against the vertical plastic here. And I'm a little bit of, there you can really see it, right? So the lowest point of that propeller is still up above the bottom of that duct, right? Versus pretty much every single other frame. I hate to keep picking on the Crown frame, but it's got the same mount height, and I love the Crown frame, so I do use it. You can see, if this will focus here, please. It's bright orange, for Christ's sakes. How could you possibly be having trouble focusing? There we go. You can see that there. You can see it down there. The bottom part of the propeller is really close to and or ever so slightly below the guard. So what ends up happening is once this duct pushes upwards a little bit, let's see if I can get it to do it. So if I put the propeller there, it will. This prop is not all the way down in the motor shaft either. The propeller will hit. There we go. You can kind of see it peeking out there, right? So this duct gets pushed in, and there it's doing it. The propeller will escape, and what ends up happening is the propeller hits this vertical part here. It hits this, or the other support. On the Meteor frames, you've got 6 of those supports for it to hit, and when the propeller hits that support, that's it. It stops. That stalls the motor out, and you fall out of the air. With the NBD drone frame, where the propeller slides around the inside there, I definitely noticed that I can bump into shit more, and the motor doesn't stall out, and it doesn't fall out of the air. I really was able to notice this when I changed the way that I mounted the crown ducts to this carbon fiber frame. When I started to mount these ducts to the bottom of the carbon fiber frame, which fixes that issue, and the propeller rides properly around the duct itself, this thing I was able to just bump into the RC drift cars like almost as hard as I want, and it just bounces right off and it keeps going. It doesn't stall the motors out. When I had these ducts mounted on the top like they normally are, and the propeller was exactly like I just showed you, most times I would bump into the drift cars, it would just drop that motor, and it would, you know, I'm like a quarter of an inch off the ground, so it's not like a big crash, but it would stall the motor out. I would hit the ground. I'd have to take back off and link back up with them. Whereas now I can just keep bumping into them. This cockroach frame, unfortunately, this cockroach frame won't work on the carbon fiber stuff because they have their own little carbon fiber brace we're going to talk about in a second. But yeah, this is my favorite. This is my number one. It's the best mix of durability, the duct height, lightweight, and those are the main things. The one negative that everybody calls out about this frame is that they use a second set of posts on the bottom, mounting posts, flight controller mounting posts, as well as on the top. And the ones on the bottom are used to hold the battery in. Your battery slides into the bay, and this front and rear post push up on the bottom of the battery. And what ends up happening is you get some, on your battery, you get some like little train tracks. You can barely see it. It's really, see them? See the little scrape marks? So you get those little scrape marks. And that bothers the shit out of some people. Doesn't bother me. I've been running these frames forever, and it's never hurt a single battery. So yeah, it's completely fine. And the plus of that is if you cut this battery tray out of here, you can do something really cool with this. You can do like a walk snail build where the walk snail AIO is mounted on the bottom here, and then your flight controller is mounted on the top. I'm dying to do that. I can't figure out where and or how I'm then going to mount the camera and the battery. But I will figure that out one of these days, and we'll have a really cool hyper custom V3 Cockroach 65 build. So yeah, this is my favorite. I love this frame. It's awesome. You can buy a little carbon fiber brace for it. If you really want to crank your PIDs up, if you're not going to crash much, this is pretty cool. Snaps right into the bottom. It's going to come with a set of screws that you need to run. Although you can, if you use this carbon fiber brace, you can run just regular old screws. But it is going to come with a set. And there you go. Now it's going to resist vibrations from the motors a lot better. Unfortunately, when you use this carbon fiber brace, as happens whenever you use carbon fiber mounting on any of these tiny whoops, if you're going to be crashing, you're going to hate your life because you're going to wreck lots and lots and lots of motors. Our little tiny whoop motors have a 1 millimeter thick motor shaft. That's not very thick, and it's kind of fragile. If you mount those motors up to a rigid piece of carbon fiber, and then you start smashing this thing into the walls over and over and over again, it's going to push all of that energy from the crashes are going to push into the duct, it's going to push into the propeller, and that's going to push into the motor. And now the motor is going to be rigidly mounted on carbon fiber. So the motor ain't going anywhere. So all of that energy from every single crash is going to travel through the motor to the motor shaft, and the motor shaft is the weakest link, and the motor shaft is going to bend. And then your motor wobbles, and it vibrates, and it dumps all those vibrations into the gyro, and you have to turn your PID loop down. Then you crash a bunch more, you got to turn your PID loop down even more. Eventually, you're going to have to turn your PID loop down so far that the rig flies like total ass, and you're going to have to start replacing motors. So I do not recommend the carbon fiber brace. It really doesn't make much sense until we get motors with a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft. I don't think that's really going to happen. All of our tiny little propellers, other than one set of Gemfan tri-blades, are 1 mil mount. I just don't see it. The 1.5 millimeter motor shaft thing, you know, I assume it would also add some weight. It's just not going to happen. Realistically, it's not going to happen. A plastic frame has proven to be, and so here's the other thing, right? When you add this, sure, you can turn your PIDs up a little bit and you can turn your filters down a little bit, but the difference that makes is negligible. If you run it in the plastic frame, you can still get a really good PID tune, and you're going to benefit from a shitload more durability and more lightweight. This adds weight. I think this is like 1.2 grams. Let's take a quick look. 0.9 of a gram. So this is adding 0.9 of a gram, and in exchange, you get worse durability. So, in my opinion, don't do it. I mean, test it for yourself. Maybe you don't crash often or hard. This is like $5 or something. It's really inexpensive. And you get it right on the Newbie Drone website. There's probably a link to it down here somewhere. Yep, there it is. $4 whole. So, I mean, like, get one, because why not? And mess around with it. But, yeah, just understand that running any kind of a carbon fiber brace or a carbon fiber frame in general is going to leave you with a lot of destroyed tiny whoop motors, and for me, it's just frustrating. It's just too frustrating to gain so little additional performance and to add weight and then to lose durability. It's like a lose-win situation. So yeah, run the regular old Cockroach 65 frame. This frame is going to come with a set of screws that you need to use. These motor mount bases in this frame are pocketed so that the carbon fiber brace will stick in there, right? And it nestles in there really nice. If you're not going to use the carbon fiber frame, this motor mount base is very thin. It's significantly thinner than any other frame, and so if you use the regular length screws, you will drive those screws up into the windings of your motors, and you will have a bad day. So when you buy this frame, it will come with a little pack of screws that are the right length, so use them. Whenever you buy a Cockroach frame, use the screws that it comes with, and hang on to them, because you're going to, I think they give you like 2 extras in there. You'll need more in the future. Buy a couple of these, though. And then you'll have a bunch of extra packs of screws. Cool. So that's number 1. That is my favorite frame. Like I said, it's the best mix of all the things. It's not like the lightest. It's not, I think it is the strongest, maybe. But yeah, all things considered, it ticks all the boxes better than any of the rest. Next up, we've got the WeBleed FPV Crown frame in a close second place. We've already kind of talked about this a little bit. The ducts sit up a little bit too high. I wish they'd lowered the duct line. But the duct line of this is just like every single other frame. So like the Cockroach frame is the oddball out. It just happens to be the oddball with a thumbs up this time. So there's that. This frame is a little bit lighter, which is awesome. Let's tear the scale out. And 2.9 grams versus the Cockroach 65 V3. I thought this frame was lighter. Cockroach V3 is 2.91. WeBleed Crown is 2.97. 2.94. These little cheapo scales are not, although I tested this scale and it was incredibly accurate. So let's just say it weighs the same amount. Lightweight, lighter than the Meteor 65, which is awesome. Not the absolute lightest frame, but this is a durable frame. I have not broken one of these yet. I have worn one of these out, but I have not broken one of these yet. And what I mean by worn it out is that, so they've gone to a single support on the outside and then 2 supports on the inside. So you've got a pretty big gap here on the left and right. And what happens with these frames after hundreds of hard crashes is these ducts will come out of round. And then the propellers will scrape against the duct. And so as you start crashing a lot, you're going to have to like re-round these ducts out. You're going to have to do it like every other battery, every third battery. It depends on how hard and how often you crash. But yeah, the WeBleed Crown frame will require a little bit of kind of fiddling to just get these ducts rounded out every so often. Other than that, this frame is awesome. The motor mount base is the standard thickness, so you can use regular screws. The battery mounting area in the middle here is normal, and it won't leave little marks in your batteries. It's got these little teeth that you can kind of see there against my hair, which allow the frame to sit up off the ground a little bit more, which helps with turtle mode. It also helps like if you're trying to turtle mode and it's skidding across the ground, the little teeth can find something to dig into, and then it'll jump back over for turtle mode. Really good little frame. Very, very, very similar to the Meteor 65 frame, which we're going to look at next. Yeah, lighter, good durability. Eventually, I did mention like it will wear out. Eventually, after you've re-rounded these ducts out enough times, you'll just kind of notice it. Like the frame will just be worked, and you'll have to replace it. Tiny Whoop frames are really cheap and they're really easy to swap out, so it kind of is what it is. But yeah, if you want something with a more standard motor mount base and or a more standard battery tray that's still lightweight and is significantly more durable than the Meteor 65 Air frame, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, this is the one. This is solidly my second favorite frame. Meteor 65 OG. If you've been around Tiny Whoops at all, you know about this frame. This is the old school gangster ass, really durable, really just incredibly all around good frame. It is no longer. It used to be one of the lightest frames, 3.32 grams, so 0.4 of a gram heavier. But you could the extra weight helps this thing isolate the vibrations from the motors and the propellers from the to the gyro in the AIO. So yeah, this frame is super easy to tune. It just works, man. Like there was a point before these new lightweight frames where like everybody was running this. Like if you ran any other frame than this, you were crazy. And so yeah, this frame will go down in history as one of the best Tiny Whoop frames of all time. The weight, what it weighs is totally fair. It's stronger than these lightweight frames for sure. Other than maybe the Noob Drone Cockroach, I would almost say that the Cockroach V3 frame is maybe stronger than these, but I can't say that for sure because like I've got Meteor 65 frames with like 1,000 batteries through them that are still totally fine. I've not done nearly that many batteries on the Noob Drone Cockroach V3. But yeah, phenomenal frame. Like if you can't decide what frame to run, just get this and put this and fly it for a while and then play around with some of the other lighter weight frames. This is like your control. Everybody should have a couple of these frames kicking around. If you're having weird issues with a quad that you can't figure out anywhere else, put it into this frame. That will take the potential of the frame having some weird resonance out of the equation because this is just a known good quantity frame that, yeah, hopefully they keep making. I can't imagine that they wouldn't, but hopefully they don't stop making this in favor of the significantly worse Meteor 65 Air frame that we're going to look at in a second. So yeah, regular old school Meteor 65, amazing frame. These top 3 frames, you should own all 3 of these. You should own a Cockroach 65 V3, a WeBleed Crown, and a Meteor 65. Everyone should. It'll cost you like $12 total to own all 3 of these frames, and then you'll be able to figure out which one you love the most. All 3 of them are awesome. This is the Cockroach 65 PC frame. PC standing for polycarbonate. So if we come in here, we already looked at, my favorite is the polypropylene 2.9 gram frame. This is the transparent black 3.95 gram. We'll confirm that. 3.96 polycarbonate frame. This is stiffer, but still incredibly strong. So the extra stiffness of this frame will make tuning a little bit easier. It'll allow you to run slightly less filtering and slightly higher PID gains. There's some different colors available. This is going to come in a purple color, which is going to be super rad. The extra gram that it weighs is a little bit of a deal breaker for me because I'm a picky bastard. But yeah, this is an excellent frame. Nothing wrong with this. 5 minutes bot grinder goes on. You guys should all go get him. But I'm going to finish this up. Yeah, really dig this frame. Really, really cool. Hello! I see the door.
Hey, baby.
What you doing?
Just saying hi. I wanted to see, like, why are there 2 cars parked out in front?
I have no idea.
And Sage's car is gone.
Yeah, they went to Del Taco.
Who?
Sage and Michael.
Why are there 2? Okay, well, there's a whole other story happening, so I'll check it out.
Cool. Love you. Yeah, PC Cockroach frame. Next up, in a controversial 5th place, is the BetaFPV Meteor 65 Air frame, which of course is broken. BetaFPV flew a little too close to the sun with this one. They removed a little bit too much plastic, and they sacrificed durability for lightweight. This is the lightest of all of the frames at 2.65 grams. So if you only care about building the lightest weight possible tiny whoop, this is the frame to get for sure. Very similar dimensions to the Meteor 65 frame, just with a whole bunch of plastic removed, too much plastic removed, and they always break in this exact same spot right here. And what's interesting is, as you start to fly this frame and as you start to crash this frame, it will show you exactly where it's going to break. The design of this frame, come on, you shitbag. Hitting it work? No. It's worth a shot, though. There it is. It shows you right there where it's going to break. Every time you hit something, all of the energy from the crash seems to focus on this one little spot in between these 2 standoffs, and it just folds and folds and folds. And so pretty quickly you have a situation where there's a sharp fold here on this little line, and then what you need, and then so that the props will start hitting the frame. So then what you need to do is come in here and bend this in the other direction to straighten it back out. And then that makes this spot crease back and forth. And if you've ever creased plastic back and forth a bunch of times, it breaks. I think maybe they noticed that. And what they did is they made the diameter of this duct bigger. So there's more of a gap between the tip of the propeller and the duct. And that does help the situation. But as you continue to crash, it comes so out of round that no matter what, the prop is going to start hitting the... well, it doesn't hit the duct because it has the same problem with all these other frames. It hits the little standoffs here. So yeah, this frame is a bit of a mess. It's not durable at all. The propeller doesn't run around in here properly, so most times you bump into stuff, it stalls the motor out and it just crashes. But luckily that doesn't happen for long because the frame breaks. And then you go, great, now I can buy another frame that's a lot better. So I really don't recommend that you buy this frame unless you don't crash and all that matters is lightweight. So if you're doing like a long range tiny whoop or something like that, I guess maybe you could run this frame. But I would actually go, I think I would go with the Crown frame in that case, because this frame has the 6 standoffs, which are going to block a bunch of the thrust. With the WeBleed Crown frame, we've only got the 3 standoffs. You've got these big areas here where it's just unobstructed thrust. I bet you this would work better as a long-range tiny whoop frame than the Meteor 65 Air. So yeah, stay away from this one in my opinion. Just way too fragile. Now we're getting into like the kind of wacky frames, so I'm gonna just kind of blast through the rest of these. This is a frame that you might not even be able to get anymore. This is a old school BetaFPV frame that I was able to get a new old stock version of from tinywhoop.com. Let's do a quick search. Old frame, let's see. Nope. Does he have NOS in there? Yeah, he does. No, he doesn't. Hold on. BetaFPV frame. Ooh, there it is. Beta 65 Pro 1S brushless tiny whoop frame. The dead giveaway are these little little biddly bobs here. As Jesse calls out here, this frame has been extinct for years, but it was the original brushless frame made by BetaFPV. They simply do not break. It is very, very strong. It's strong because it's gummy. It's very bendy. So it bends and doesn't break. This is an old school frame where the battery tray is significantly lower, so you don't have as tight of a center of gravity. What's kind of cool about that is when you flat bottom it, the battery hits first. The rest of these frames, the motor bases hit. So when you flat bottom the rest of these frames, the motor screws slam down on whatever the surface is, and it has like a really sharp hit. On this frame, the battery hits, and it's more of like a gentle kind of thump. So if you're going to run, like if you're having problems with the EX802 motors throwing magnets, this frame would be a solution to that. And it looks like it's still in stock on tinywhoop.com for $8, so maybe snag one. Interesting frame. I ran it for a little bit. It's pretty heavy, I think. Yeah, 3.8 grams. So it's pretty heavy. These little things don't seem to really help, but I mean, same kind of philosophy. They'll sit the frame up a little bit on the ground. I don't know. I didn't run this frame for very long. I don't like that the battery is down so low. There's just a bunch of wasted space in here where you could be putting the battery. It does that old school tiny whoop thing where because the battery is the center point, it kind of rocks around when it's on the ground. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, interesting frame. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I don't think. It's an older frame. We've kind of moved on. These duct supports are kind of thick, and they're just like rectangular pieces of plastic. You know, nowadays the duct supports look like this so that the airflow can go past them. This is like an older school design with a little bit more obstruction, but there's only 3 of them, so I guess that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know who this frame is for, but it's interesting. If you're doing an order on tinywhoop.com and you need $8 more to get free shipping or whatever, snag one of these for sure. It's kind of cool. You'll have a little piece of history as one of the first brushless frames. This is the OG Noob drone cockroach frame. And this is the stronger version of it. And I'm going to explain that in a second here. Cool. So this is actually also the V2 version of it. So the original Noob drone cockroach frame looks exactly like this, but it's in a lighter plastic. Same geometry, same everything, and it's 3.71 grams. I actually don't have one of the normal ones, but to give you some idea, so that's the regular one out of the more bendy plastic. This is the version 2 heavy-duty one that we're going to look at in a second. Instead of 3.7 grams, this one is 5.2 grams. So a massive weight increase. Here it is. Newbie Drone V2 65 mil super durable frame. Comes in this really cool red color, which is the main reason that I got this. And these old school Cockroach frames have four supports here. These are really durable frames. It's just they're a little too heavy. And they do eventually break. You can eventually break these frames. So I don't know, other than the color, I don't really know a reason that you would get this. It totally works. These frames are very stiff, so they really do a good job isolating the vibrations from the motors and props from the gyro. So that's a definite plus with these. But yeah, they're not super durable. They're kind of heavy, and yeah, I don't know. They're just like an older school frame. This particular one, this super durable one, is just way too heavy. 5.2 grams, that's way too much. So yeah, I don't know who this frame is for, but if you don't care about weight and you need some extra stiffness, I guess it's for you. Or if you're building a fancy looking tiny whoop that you just want it to look good when it's sitting on the shelf, this red is cool, and there's also the teal. Put this one in the box here. This is an Iflight version of the previous Cockroach that we were looking at. There's a little Iflight logo here, and there's a subtle difference to the way that the battery tray sits here, but other than that, this is really identical to the Cockroach V1. It comes in at, oh, it's a little lighter, 3.36, 3.4 grams. Same kind of pluses. It's pretty stiff in the wobble test here. Four supports are pretty strong, but eventually it will break. I had a problem with this frame where the ducts kind of sat in too far. I don't know. You're not going to be able to find this frame anyway. I don't know where this came in a box from someone. I don't know. I really don't know who this frame is for, but I don't hate this frame, which is why it's not in last place. But we're getting towards last place. Second to last place is... This might be unfair. I'm going to put this in last place. Second to last place is the BetaFPV Meteor 65 Pro frame. We don't need, for an indoor tiny whoop, we do not need bigger propellers. We need lighter weight. This frame is not all that heavy, though, which is kind of crazy. We're going to compare this to the regular Meteor 65. This is 3.23 grams. The regular Meteor 65 is 3.35 grams. Is that right? It is lighter. Good God. How'd they do that? Bigger frame is lighter. They removed plastic from somewhere. So it's slightly lighter, but it's going to gain weight when you put the bigger propellers on it. So realistically, it is a little bit... It's the same weight as the regular Meteor 65. The problem is, yeah, we don't need the bigger propellers. The bigger propellers don't accomplish anything. And we don't have access to bi-blades for this. And cutting two blades off of a four-bladed propeller leaves you with a propeller that's never going to be properly balanced, which is annoying. So, yeah, this frame solves a problem that does not exist. For an indoor tiny whoop, the regular 31 millimeter, which is 1.2 inch propellers, are awesome. We do not need these 35 millimeter propellers on this. It adds unnecessary weight and drag, and it just doesn't perform as good as the regular smaller frames. They are the sweet spot. This is not. Yeah, it's plenty durable. It's probably not as durable as the Meteor 65 because it's lighter weight and it's bigger. Yeah, there's just no reason. There's I have not found, and I've tried a bunch, motor and prop combo that on this frame is any better than high KV 702s in terms of efficiency or power or flight performance. So yeah, it's an interesting frame. Also, because so these are all 65 millimeter frames. 65 refers to the distance between the motors. How the hell did they manage to make a 65 millimeter frame that swings bigger propellers? Well, what they did is they brought the ducts inwards. If you look like in here, you see how the clear, like look, hold on. Look right here. Right here. See how the clear duct is inside the black duct, but it's right? So this frame you can only run a cross-style AIO in because they have pulled these ducts inwards in order to keep the motor-to-motor distance still 65. So this frame forces you to use a cross-style AIO. There aren't many of those. The HappyModel one seems to suck. The BetaFPV one is okay, but it doesn't have a VTX on board. Now you've got to add an external VTX, which adds weight and complexity. Technically speaking, you could run this on the Hummingbird V3 AIO, which we did last week. But again, that rig, it just didn't do anything better than it on the smaller frame with the lighter weight, higher KV motors. I really thought that there might be something there, but and I put it with the best possible set of motors that I could think of, and it's just not there. We've really found the sweet spot with the regular 65 millimeter frames, 702 motors, mega KV, 30,000, 32,000, 36,000 on GemFan biblades. It's absolutely bananas. All of these other frames have their work cut out for them trying to compete with that. It's kind of an unfair situation, all things considered, but sort of is what it is. My least favorite frame is one of the lighter ones, 3.25 grams. This is the HappyModel frame. Unfortunately, though, I have had 2 of these frames break on the very first battery. This frame is extremely fragile. It always breaks where the duct supports meet the ducts, and it happens really fast. So it's also kind of wobbly. Not that wobbly, but I mean, for the weight, I guess it's not too bad. But yeah, like it's just, don't buy this because it's going to break. If you buy a Mobula 6, it's going to come with one of these. Feel free to run it. You're not going to run it very long before it breaks. The other place that this frame breaks is down here where where the battery mounts. These pieces of plastic down here where the battery mounts are just absurdly thin. And so they're going to break pretty quickly, or the supports on the bottom. It's just, I don't know. This frame feels like nobody flew it. But I don't know. Don't get this frame. Do not buy this frame. At some point, you will buy a Mobula 6 ELRS because the AIOs will be out of stock and you'll be desperate, and you'll get one of these frames to test, and you'll break it very quick. Don't buy this frame. Don't spend your hard-earned money on that frame. There it is, my friends. Those are the 10 best Tiny Whoop frames. Compared, contrasted, weighed. Hope you learned something. Let me get caught up on chat here. Kevin Summer says maybe Teddy just needs a Tiny Whoop to chase. That would be interesting if when he's freaking out, I flew the Tiny Whoop up there and harassed him. Frank Nicholas says, I don't hear the dog in your stream. I do hear you screaming at the dog. I'm glad that you guys can't hear it. I assume that you could. It's loud. Freelojo dropping the Patreon link. Thank you, dude. Daniel1964 says, CiottiFPV and all, I have 4 whoops with HappyModel F4 ELRS. I tried to change the VTX antenna. The pad came up. Is there a way to fix this? Yeah, you can direct solder to the traces. I think I've done it before. Hold on. So if we come in here and we use this little magnifying glass to search only my channel, I'm going to type u.fl and hey, direct soldering damaged UFL. Here it is. Dropping this in the chat. All right, link is in the chat, but the name of the stream is Maintenance Monday -Q&A -IRC Ghost -FPV Cycle Glide -Direct Soldering Damaged UFL. No timestamps here, but you've got the thumbnail, and I did it on a one of these. This is the box that puts the analog video into the live stream. So yeah, there are 3 pads. The outer 2 pads are ground. The inner pad is signal. And yeah, I talk all about how to do it, and I do it right in front of you, and I show you how to separate the shielding. And yeah, so this is how you do that. You can technically buy the you can buy, I mean, you have one. You might be able to solder that one back down. You can buy them and try to solder those down, but usually you can't. Usually once that pad lifts, you have to solder basically to like the remains of the trace. It's really, I gotta tell you, it's really difficult. It is doable. You're gonna ruin an antenna doing it because you're gonna have to cut the UFL off of an antenna. But it's a fun little thing to try to do. If you've got like an hour, it's a thing that can be done. And if you do it, you'll feel like a fucking rock star. And then you just put a blob of E6000 over top of it, and it'll just stay there forever. So yeah, it's worth trying. This video will show you how to do it. It looks like I'm an hour and 40 minutes or so in when I start doing that repair in that video. So check it out. Daniel1964 says that is on 1, not all 4. Veritas Uzo says Pat lip on the drone frame was bigger than Bubba's lip. That lip on the drone frame was bigger than Bubba's lip in Forrest Gump. Troy Pulak says, PayPal for the Whoop Camera Fund. Thank you, Troy. Where is my mail? Come on, mail. You can do it. Work. Troy Prelog with a $25 super chat. Thank you, or PayPal. Thank you, brother. Very, very cool. Let's get that added in here. And we are now at $50. Awesome. Thank you, brother. Very cool. No comment over there, but just showing some love. I appreciate it. Oh, hey. There's another one. Who's this from? BWS BMW says, appreciate everything you do and go through to give us a stream. Thank you, brother. $20 PayPal there. Yeah, much appreciated, man. You didn't specifically call out the... So if you want to add to these funds, you got to like specifically call it out. So feel free to... If your $20 was to do this, tag me and say, yep, Ciotti, it was for that. Otherwise, I just assume that you're supporting the insanity and helping me pay bills. So thank you very much, brother. Much appreciate that. And you as well, Troy. Just Mo says, how many frames did you review so far? All 10. He asked that at 8:44. Veritas Wuza says, Beavis and Butthead, he said mount your battery. Mount your battery. Yeah. Veritas Wuza also says, can you 3D print those frames or would they be too thick or heavy? All the above. 3D printed frames are too heavy, too wobbly, and they're just a nightmare. There was a company called... I forget the name of the company, but there was a company that 3D printed a whole bunch of frames, and I did a whole bunch of live streams trying to get their frames to work because they had a really cool Insta360 Go mounting setup. I probably spent 20 or 30 hours trying to get those 3D printed frames to work, and they just wouldn't. It's just the material is not strong enough. It's not strong enough in the right directions. It just doesn't work. And by the time you make a 3D printed frame thick enough that it's going to isolate enough of the vibes, it's going to be way too heavy. So yeah, 3D printing just does not work. It's not the right material. Riot9 says might be phenomenal, but it is smooth. I'm not sure what we're talking about, brother. I think you might be kidding though. Black Horse says Beta 65 Pro, strongest frame ever made. I don't know, man. I am blown away by the NBD Drone Cockroach V3. I think this might be the one, and it's lighter, and the prop runs around the duct properly. Daniel 1964 says, "What about 6 packs a night? Been doing mine with you and without, obviously, for the last for at least 6 a day." Yeah, I've been forgetting to fly on these live streams. We've just been running out of time. We will get a little bit more back into it. Let's do at least 1 or 2. Oh, I didn't set up the gates or anything. I feel bad though. I've got like after the stream I realized it. After the stream I look over and I have my little row of batteries. I'm like, shit, man, I forgot. And it's happened like a couple streams in a row now. And yeah, that kind of sucks. So I will at least fly a little bit here to kind of close us out. And you guys should too. Keep doing your 6 a day, yo. You'll be a absolute ninja in no time. Hold on. The VRX has died of death. Now, it's doing that like every time now. It's all fucked up. But, luckily, unplugging this thing and plugging it back in does work. There we go. Should be good now. And last couple of questions here. Come on, damn you. There we go. Okay, come on. I got the right module in. Let's give that a second. CMYKFPV says the 75mm HM HappyModel just breaks in 2 batteries too. Very disappointing. What's the 75mm HM? Is that the frame you mean? CMYK also says I'm over in the bot chat trying to convince DJ to build out an ultimate freestyle tiny whoop. Nice. Brandon Woodford says CiottiFPV for the insanity. CMYK says red. And then Freelojo says the 3D R3D. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, R3D. Boy, did I ever try to get those frames to work. Hey! Oh, too high. This is... Oh, boy. This is the OG, original freestyle tiny whoop. This is the one that kind of started it all, so to speak. Tiny Whoop 702, 32,000 kV motors. Ah! Cockroach V3, Cockroach 65 V3 frame. Oh my god! That was the biggest impossible power loop ever. Let's try it again. Oh shit! Oh god! Oh no! Get over. Oh god! Why? Oh dude! Impossible Matty flip! No! Oh god! That's tough, man. Oh god! Oh no! As much as I want to take off when that happens, if I do, it blows everything everywhere on my desk there. It's like a nightmare. Oh god, no, you why? Why do you have to do me like that, Tiny Whoop? Why do you have to do it? I'm so nice to you. I'm really not. I'm mean to it and I crash it all the time. That's why it did it to me. There it is. Look at these big, beautiful WeBleed FPV LED gates. Look how cool that is. Can't tell me you don't want one of those in your house. Oh god, no! Oh god, no! Stop! Leave me! Oh god, why am I fucking so bad? Ugh. No! Why? Oh. Stop. Oh, it went through. What was that? What was my goal there? Okay. See it bounce off? See it bounce off the door and just keep going? That's because the props are riding along. The tips of the propellers are riding properly along the inside of the duct. It allows you to bump into stuff like that and keep going. Woo! Oh. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, next 10 minutes of our lives. I don't think it'll come out of there. Yay! No! Yay! It's a real roller coaster that we're on here. Is this battery? How is this battery not dead yet? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Right, hold on. We flew one. It was a real mess. Feigning Goat with a $9.99 super chat. He says 10 American dongs for the Every Whoop Camera Fund. Thank you, brother. Let's get that going here. There we go. 10 American cheeseburgers. Thank you, brother. Okay, let's do one last battery, and then we can all go watch some bot grinder. I like watching too. I hate when I run long because I don't get to watch the guy. That's the worst part. Last battery, friends. Thanks for hanging. Sorry I've been so angry. Technology problems just drive me nuts. Really? Fucking 1 inch by 1 inch. You fucker. Let's get something going here. Come on now. For Christ's sakes. Oh man. No, don't you dare fall into an unrecoverable spot again, you little jerk. Oh no! Come on. Oh, shit! Oh, yeah! It's worth it. Oh, this is not going to be... I'm not going to be able to get it out of here. You fart bag! It's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. So angry. So angry. Oh, boy. What was that? Can I get in there? Can I get in there? I can. Oh, what was that? Oh. That hit something hard. Stop it. Mirror flip. Oh, yo! That was one of the best mirror flips ever. Oh, man. That's a different style mirror flip. Oh, fuck you. No! Stop it with this shit. Yay. Gotta sneak up on the mirror flip. Oh, a mirror flip with a little bump in the middle there. That was fun. Oh, we can really lean into the colliding with the mirror thing. Oh, what? That was kind of cool. Let's try to get an ultra close mirror flip. Best mirror flip of all time coming. Oh, yeah! I loved it. Okay. Okay. Back to Crash Fest 2024. This battery's shot. One more. Hold on. One more. Real quick. One more. Just starting to feel the rhythm. Feel the flow. Get on up. It's bobsled time. Those mirror flips have re-energized me to fly like not an idiot. Come on, me. Fly better. Oh, not a good start. Ah, the rearm. Nope. Oh, that was the quickest. I knew it was going to land upside down. Oh, God, I didn't even see it. I did not even see that gate until it was too late. Look, I can do FPV things. Ready? I fly FPV. I can do FPV. Oh, God, why? No! That ain't good. Oh, it just won't even budge. There's nothing doing. Nope, it's absolutely driven itself under there. Well, so much for flying better. Worth a shot, you know? Worth a shot. Oh, Crash Fest merch. Yeah, we need a t-shirt. Oh, fuck off. Oh, you scum. Oh! Oh! The massive snare drum hit. Oh, God. That was a very failed impossible power loop. The impossible power loop is dumb. For anybody that's newish, the impossible power loop is this. Underneath the desk, and then it's impossible because the gap, I have to throw it. I end up throwing it right here, so it has to go in between this little gap between the top of these LED panels and the ceiling. And it's just like, it's a small gap, and I usually hit them. That's what it looks like when you come close to getting it, but then it's hard to get it back under the desk. It's like the hardest power loop in here. Yeah, and the drum set's there, and it's hard to find like a landing. Tried to throw it there and missed. Ah, why? What? Really? Fuck off! What? Why? Oh my God, I went through the side. Okay. Man, I can't wait for this battery to be dead. Oh! Fuck you! Where did that come from? What the hell? Oh my God, why me? Why? Oh no. Really? Ouch! Fuck you! Okay, that's it. No more. No more. No more. It's just gonna get worse. I tried, man. Most nights I can't fly for shit. I wish it wasn't true, but that's okay though. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be. It is fun. Put too much pressure on myself to like be good. It's okay to be shit. It's not. There's no rules. You can be as bad as me, or you can be really good. It's fine either way. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just keep telling yourself it's fine, and it'll be fine. Thanks for hanging, friends. Sorry, this is a weird stream. I'm in. Yeah, 45 minutes of of trying to fix the fucking streaming setup really put me in a bad place, and I have not recovered from that. I'll be better on Sunday as long as unplugging the camera is somehow gets it to work. I don't know. But yeah, probably Sunday there'll be some other insane thing that I have to do to get this shit to work. So can't wait. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you Sunday at 3. Have an excellent weekend. Go do some stuff. Later. Get your asses over to Bot Grinder. Go. Go watch some bot. Love DJ. Miss that guy, man. I haven't seen him in a long time. Here comes some more flying from 2019. That's what was at the beginning of the live stream, too. What is this? Okay, this isn't flying. This is just crashing. Can something work, maybe? No? Okay, there it is. Here's some crashing from 2019. Love you guys. Be good. Thanks for hanging. Bye-bye!